No. No. Yeah, this is better. Welcome to the stream. Okay, that's like really loud though, and my parents are literally sleeping in the room right next to me. I don't know how, but I got actions and stuff to look like normal Minecraft with like cool ass features. It's because I turned on dark mode first, and then you know, so now I have cool little animations whenever I walk and stuff, and everything looks normal, including a diamond armor. So everything doesn't look so realistic, and we still have like normal like shit. So if you guys also want to do this, then yeah. But the reason why this happened was probably because of my shitty SPS4. I don't know. But oh well, because I bought this on stream one time. Oh, such a waste of money. Oh. Because it just looks so ugly, but now it looks so good with normal textures. And you have like animation. Oh, look at that! Look how that looks! Oh. Yeah. But you know, in today's video, or not video, in today's stream, if I actually let me go to sleep. Up there, my bed got destroyed after the war in season 1. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, right, my fault. I might have a brain of dead goldfish. My fault, chat. If you come over here, you'll find chorus dirt. You might be asking why. Well, if I follow this chorus dirt over here, take a turn here. You know, keep going. And if we go over here, that's weird, it's connected. Wait, it's connected. So I'm gonna turn down this music because I also have to put in music for season 2. Because right now I'm editing season 1. Sure, I live stream it, but I'm also gonna edit it into a video. So then it has like a little bit more better shit. But I'm expanding Bonum to make it better. That's what I'm doing. Because right now we have like things over here, like at the corners here. Like at the corner here, there's just like, there's like departments and shit. Like here's this one, store district. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hire a bunch of the people on the server to help me with this. Because I'm gonna go to my wallet. I have a couple doubloons on me, let's just say, so I can pay them. But yeah, like I said, I can pay them. So let's do this. But for now, I have to wait for people. Because I know someone in this game is gonna have the patience for it. I mean, I have the patience for it, but since I fucking own this place, you know, I want to make it easy on myself. Because in the last stream, I think there was assigned 3 rulers. I was the ruler of the end and Bonum, of course. Spider is the owner of the Nether, And Virtual Dreams is the owner of the overworld, which we are in the overworld right now, but I own Bonum to myself. So that is what we established, at least for now, unless the owner of the server objects. So yeah, we can put in some democracy though, and ask the people to vote if we should keep overlords to like keep us safe and shit, to like make sure like nothing bad happens, like watch over the different lands. Like I would check over the end, and Spider will check over the nether, and he'll check over the overworld, which is the most important one as well. And I know he's cut out for it, because he has so far done good on stuff. Look at this also. That's so cool. And then if I go underwater, oh, that's so cool. Here, let me get an ass shot. And then ah. I like that cool little animation. Though right now I'm trying to find some squid. Here we go. Cause I'm trying to make a book and quill to tell the story of what happened here in Bonum during season 1. Right now for the people here, it's still season 1 maybe, but well, no, I don't even know if some of these guys stream, but you know, that's so cool though, the salmon. Oh, that's so cool, dude. But like I said, I don't know if they know stuff, but you know. Ooh, feathers, okay. Sorry, chickens. Literally the only way we can get feathers. Hey, well, at least I got, like... No feather. There we go, your friend was more useful. I'll throw that out for a bit, and then I'll come back for it. Damn, before I killed that chicken, I should give myself a permit. Alright. Right, I need a book. Right. Sorry. Alright. So what I know is that we're not allowed to use cheats. But what if I make a deal with the owner so I could get done with the expansion of Bonum a little bit faster? I'm not sure if it'll 100% work, because we did go to war and that was bad, but maybe he could side with me for a bit. Just for like a bit. But I mean, like, regardless, he sides with me. Because we're kind of friends and stuff, but you know. But right now, we're not going to think about that. What we are going to think about is this. The story. Yeah. You know what, why don't we make newspapers, like daily newspapers and shit? I like that idea. You know what? Instead of this being like normal shit, this is just gonna be the news. Right, it's called The Friend of My Enemy. I think. Frenemy. Sorry, I forgot I was streaming for a second. I was kind of just focused onto the plot and the story of the news. Right. Alright, where do we put this thing? We could put it in front of the fountain. Yeah, right here. Alright, there we go. So here we go. The news. Frenemy. War broke out against the owner of the server in Bonum, making making Wicked Chip trapped in spectator mode in a cell in his own empire. When all hope seemed lost, Wicked Chip won the war and was on the run from Brit until they got banned from the server. Until they both came back to an agreement. To let the past be the past. Now they are allies again. After some time, the reason for the short ban was cheating and cursing, almost making the server gone forever. More news at the next page. Expansion of the walls. Wicked Chip has decided to expand the walls. His reason was to make stores and more stuff to help people of the server stay safe. and to have free will, we'll make a vote on what to add to Bonum. Population 4. No more cheats. Recently, after the war, everyone was put into member roles, so there will be no /timeset /give/TP, etc. That's all for today. Yep, I'm just the best weatherman, you know. Or not weatherman, but you know, I'm the best at, you know, telling the news and shit. You know? I'm just the best, man. Now let's see, what time is it? It is 10:05. I should be expecting one of my friends online right now. But for some reason, he just isn't online. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to end stream. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start making the walls. That's what I'm gonna be doing. And you see the mountain on this side? Yeah, I'll be keeping that. Cause you know, I'm tired of seeing flat land when we can have, you know, stores inside of a mountain and shit. That'd be honestly really cool. And yes, I know I'm cursing, but that's only because Britt isn't even watching this, so I'm fine. At least I don't think he is. Let's see here. Alright. Also, if I don't like the curvy path and shit, like the like how the hill here is like doing stuff, then I'll just hire a crew to like get rid of all that. Most of the people in the server have netherite, so I'm fine. The netherite that I gave them, I could have like kept all that netherite, but no, because you know, I'm a good man. Why would I even think of that? Oh, I'm just so tired, dude. I don't know why I said any of that shit. And I'm not like even tired from like sleep deprived. I'm just like tired of this, bro. Like I'm tired of building, dude. But you know, I gotta do it. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Alright. Got all my stuff. I'm gonna go sleep in bro's house. Cause someone got rid of my bed during a prank. Nah, that's against the rules of my own town. I gotta follow my own rules as well. Who's texting me? I'll play that whenever I'm pissed off. I have an idea. I'm gonna wake bro up. Yeah, I'm gonna wake bro up.
I'm sorry, but the
Damn. So he's just like asleep. Bitch ass fly. But bro is just asleep. Nah. And bro says he calls me and I never answer. Guess who's the one who isn't answering now, bozo? Okay, so now I can see why this is a problem here, though. Because this is like going over the mountain, and I gotta have it the same level as that. But at the same time, it's also kind of a struggle, if you must say. Yeah, it's this level right here. This is the level we're supposed to be at. Look at that. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
you ever wondered what space sounds like?
Yeah.
I know sound can't travel through a vacuum, but that doesn't mean the universe is silent. Quite the opposite. Filled with different vibrations just waiting to be decoded. Through a process known as data sonification, scientists can turn data on plasma, X-ray, and even gravitational waves into something we can actually hear. In past videos, we explored the haunting sounds of Saturn, Earth's magnetosphere, and the sun's solar flares. But today, we're heading headfirst into the most terrifying sounds space has to offer. From the ghostly wail of a passing comet, to a growling supermassive black hole, to the echoes of a black hole collision from 5 billion years ago.
I know what a black hole sounds like. I tried trolling as a ghost on Grilled Side called Black Hole, but it just didn't work because it wasn't that scary. But this was back then when I had like my Steam account and shit. Which Gorilla Tag banned me because I was too fast on my skateboard. Like, bro, there's like 50 other, no, not even 50, like half the population of the skate park can fucking like skate that fast, dude. Start saying something, I'm cheating. You said the same thing for H4KPY. I think that's his name, I forgot. But you said the same thing for him. Look at him. Here's your skill.
But the results are more than just cool sounds. Each audio clip carries distinct and important information about celestial objects and phenomena such as solar winds, pulsars, and black hole collisions. Just as data visualization lets scientists spot patterns more easily, sonification allows researchers to detect patterns, trends, or anomalies within complex data sets. You might have seen one of my videos about sounds in space before. They mainly focused on planets and the sun. But today I'll be sharing newer findings from more obscure places, like the first successful probe landing on a comet, and a supermassive black hole in the Perseus cluster. Before we get there, our first stop on this audio tour is a little closer to home. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you might remember my video on the sounds of Saturn. Here, I want to focus on its spectacular rings, one of the landmarks of our solar system. Saturn's rings are made up of countless particles of rock and ice. Most of these particles are electrically charged, mainly due to the ionizing effect of solar radiation.
Oh shit, my thing is about to die.
Saturn's magnetosphere is also filled with charged particles, which are free to move, interact, and form other complex phenomena. They aren't fixed in one place. In a nutshell, when charged particles in Saturn's rings interact with the plasma in its magnetosphere, they experience what's known as the Lorentz force. This force makes particles spiral around magnetic field lines and create oscillations in the plasma, also known as plasma waves. In 1997, NASA launched the Cassini probe to study Saturn up close. One key part of the mission was to explore Saturn's ring-plasma interactions more deeply. As the spacecraft passed through Saturn's ring system, its radio and plasma wave science instrument recorded the waves produced by the charged particles in the rings. This instrument is incredibly sensitive, so sensitive it detected lightning in Saturn's atmosphere from thousands of kilometers away. Saturn's rings contains particles just 2 nanometers large, the size of a virus. When these dust particles collide with the instrument's detector,
Right.
creates tiny puffs of plasma. The plasma impacts are then converted into sound, allowing scientists to hear the electromagnetic interactions taking place. And the results
Alright. Sounds like the cries from hell. Holy shit.
But there's more. In 2017, Cassini's Saturn to its moon Enceladus. What makes this clip more haunting is that it was one of the last clips. 2 weeks later, the probe was deliberately plunged into Saturn's atmosphere after 20 years of loyal service to humanity. Imagine this being the last thing you'll ever hear. Wasn't the only probe to send us back data on vibrations near a celestial body. In 2014, ESA's Rosetta probe sent back some trippy data on a passing comet you won't want to miss. Our second stop is called 67P. ESA's Rosetta mission. It is the first and only comet successfully come by a man-made lander. Comet 67P orbits the Sun in the outer solar system roughly every 6.5 years, and it is thought to house several primitive materials from the formation of the solar system over 4 billion years ago. On top of studying these materials, Rosetta's mission was to understand how solar winds affect the comet's corona and tail. To do this, they armed the spacecraft with a suite of plasma detection tools, including the Langmuir probe, to measure the electron density and plasma oscillations in the comet's environment, and a magnetometer to detect magnetic field fluctuations caused by these plasma waves. Together, the data provided a comprehensive view of the plasma dynamics around the comet. But this in itself wasn't a breakthrough. Magnetic field sound waves had already been detected from other comets, including the famous Halley's Comet. What was special about Comet 67P is the actual sound it made. Comet 67P's song was very different to the sounds measured from other comets before it, suggesting it had very different physical properties. I'll play it for you now.
What the fuck? There's no way, that has to be an error. Tell him to send it back, boy.
What's interesting is that this audio can be broken down into distinct components. The rhythmic clicking sound represents the periodic fluctuations in the plasma's density and the way the comet's magnetic field is distributed by solar wind. The humming parts of the sound reveal the continuous oscillations within the plasma environment. Here, I'll play it for you one more time. Honestly, to me it sounds like a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Speaking of Stranger Things, our third stop on this tour is the closest thing we have to an upside down in this reality. Ever wonder what sound a black hole makes? Buckle up.
I already know it.
Travel some 200.
It sounds like some or something like that. Here, I'll turn this up so then you guys can have some, you know.
Solar masses. Supermassive black holes like this one tend to emit intense X-ray and ultraviolet radiation due to the searing hot gas in their accretion disk. We're talking millions of degrees Kelvin. NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory is a space telescope in high Earth orbit, tasked with looking out for X-ray data that might give us insights into the nature of black holes. It carries a highly sensitive electronic detector that captures incoming X-ray photons and converts them into digital signals, which lets scientists map the hot gas distribution of black holes, supernova remnants, and galaxy clusters. In 2003, it captured some tantalizing data. Chandra's high-resolution imaging and spectroscopic capabilities allowed scientists to study the X-ray emissions from the black hole and surrounding hot gas in the Perseus cluster. In 2022, scientists revisited this X-ray data and translated the frequencies into sound. By complete accident, they stumbled upon the lowest frequency sound ever found in the universe, a droning B-flat note 57 octaves below middle C. At such a low frequency, the period of the sound wave coming from the black hole is 10 million years long. Humans can't hear anything with a period longer than 50 milliseconds. Through data sonification, NASA scientists transposed this black hole song by a factor of quadrillions into the audible range for humans. The results? A tormented, guttural sound that'll make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Here, see for yourself.
Knew it, yeah. I don't know if my demonstration was the same, but here. Pretty cool.
Creepy, right? But what does it actually teach us about the science of black holes? Many things, but perhaps most interesting is its implication on galaxy cluster evolution. In a galaxy cluster, which can contain anywhere between a few hundred...
Also, before I continue, this is made by the YouTuber Astrum, because I'm trying to learn a little bit more about space, since when I was younger I never got to, because I just thought it was boring while my brother was actually getting smarter and I was getting dumber. And honestly, shut the fuck up with the cave sounds, but honestly it's very interesting when you research about it more. So
100 to several thousand galaxies, the spaces in between are filled with thin gases and plasma, also known as the intracluster medium. It's much hotter and about 6 times denser than the gas found outside galaxy clusters. One theory is that the sound waves emitted by the black hole are actually partially responsible for the temperatures in the intracluster medium, since they carry energy. And since we know star formation is partially regulated by temperatures, it's therefore possible these waves play some kind of role in the evolution of galaxy clusters over time. Our fourth and final stop is something of a triumph. Even Einstein doubted humanity would ever be able to detect what I'm about to show you. If he were around to watch this video, I think he'd absolutely freak out. Back in 1916, Albert Einstein predicted that black holes emanate gravitational waves. Imagine throwing a rock into a pond. The water ripples. You can think of gravitational waves like those ripples, except instead of acting on water, they act on the fabric of space-time, ever so slightly stretching and contracting it as it passes. These disturbances were predicted to be so small that even Einstein himself didn't think humans would ever be able to detect them. Fast forward to today. In just over a century, we've managed to build a global network of observatories that have picked up on gravitational waves from about 100 cosmic events. For example, there's the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO in the US, the Virgo in Europe, and the Kagra in Japan, which all work together to corroborate data and pinpoint the wave's direction and source location. If you aren't familiar with their setup, the way these instruments work will surprise you, because they are nothing like traditional telescopes. They don't use lenses. Instead, they rely on something much more fun: lasers. Scientists send lasers down 2 perpendicular tunnels several kilometers long. When gravitational waves from space arrive at Earth, they cause tiny disturbances in the fabric of space-time, which is picked up by these lasers. And I mean tiny, something like 10 to the power minus 18 meters, or 1/10,000th of a proton. As the laser's paths are stretched or contracted by the gravitational waves, they emit different frequencies, kind of like the strings of a guitar. A higher frequency is a higher pitch. Converting this data into sound is how we get the signature chirp of a black hole collision. Each collision has its distinct personality. Long, low buildups, like this one, indicates a slower collision between pretty lightweight black holes. Faster, heavier black holes sound more like this. You just heard the sound of two black holes combining to form an even bigger black hole 5 billion years ago. It's the most massive and distant gravitational wave source ever observed, emitting about the energy equivalent of 5 solar masses in gravitational radiation. Pretty epic if you ask me. As you can see, regarding space as silent is an oversimplification. Sound can't travel through vacuums, sure, but for those who dare to listen, the universe reveals its own haunting symphony. It's just a matter of knowing where and how to lend an ear. Thanks for watching. If you like this tour of the cosmos, you might like this one where I take you through the latest Euclid images and what they've taught us so far about dark matter and the origins of the universe. Click here to watch it now, and see you next time. While we were making this video, we came across these beautiful photos of our Milky Way. This video doesn't have a sponsor, which means it was only made possible by the 850 of you that support this channel on Patreon. As a token of our gratitude, we have a paid credit.
With over 2 billion monthly users, YouTube ads makes it easy to expand your reach.
Did you think space was silent? Well, it might be for audio or compression waves, but what if you were in orbit around Saturn, listening for radio and plasma waves?
That's what Saturn sounds like? Oh my god, that's from the depths of hell, dude. That's from the fiery asshole from Satan, bro.
The Cassini spacecraft, which orbited around Saturn for 15 years, had a radio and plasma wave science instrument on board that could pick up what you are hearing now, being emitted by Saturn and its moons. These radio waves have been compressed for our benefit, converting roughly 30 minutes worth of radio waves to a minute's worth of audio waves. This wasn't just done to create a creepy audio file, but it had real scientific purpose, which was to examine the source of these radio waves. In the case of this audio file, the source was Saturn's aurora. You see, the sun is always blasting out bits of its mass in the form of electrically charged particles, called the solar wind. Planets with a magnetic field surrounding them redirect this solar wind around the planet to its poles, where the charged particles impact the planet's atmosphere, or more specifically, its ionosphere. This impact causes particles in the atmosphere to become excited, or in other words, the collision ionizes the particles in the atmosphere, causing them to emit electromagnetic radiation. We can see this ionization with our own eyes in visible light, but aurora also emit radio waves, which we need special instruments to detect, like the one that was on Cassini. These radio waves bounce around within the planet's magnetic field, which is where Cassini picked them up. How do we know this? Through another audio file.
Oh yeah, that's from Satan's asshole.
What you are listening to here is the Cassini spacecraft passing through the bow shock of Saturn.
This is from the same guy from before.
As I mentioned,
As you can
Saturn
tell.
has a large magnetic field surrounding it, called the planet's magnetosphere, which deflects the solar wind around it. For the first section of the audio, Cassini is outside of Saturn's magnetosphere. Outside the magnetosphere, radio sources are quiet and there is calm in the audio. Then, Cassini's orbit takes it through the magnetosphere's boundary, called the bow shock, which is the place where the magnetic field and the solar wind collide. There is a sudden increase in radio waves. Past the bow shock, Cassini begins to detect a lot more radio waves bouncing around Saturn's magnetosphere, noticeably different from the outside of the magnetosphere. But Cassini heard a lot more than just aurora. Cassini also made some close approaches to Saturn, listening closely to the planet itself. Saturn has a thick and dynamic atmosphere, with massive storms spanning the planet. One such storm sounded like this. What you are listening to here are radio waves being generated by lightning in one of Saturn's storms. It may sound small and almost puny, but remember that this is not the representation of audio you're hearing. These lightning strikes are so powerful that Cassini could detect their radio waves in space. To give you some kind of scale, scientists estimate that the lightning in Saturn's storms are roughly 1,000 times more powerful than typical lightning on Earth. To get this close to Saturn, Cassini had to pass through its rings. During flybys like this, Cassini listened. What do you think could be the cause of this audio? Cassini was traveling extremely fast around Saturn, as fast as 121,000 kilometers per hour. As it orbited through the Janus Epimetheus ring, a very faint and dusty ring, it would impact tiny particles, which would vaporize into clouds of plasma. These tiny charged explosions could then be picked up by Cassini's radio and plasma wave science instrument, and these impacts were then converted into the audio you are now hearing. The increased frequency of these impacts showed the densest part of the ring, and as the impact subsided, it indicated that Cassini was moving away from the ring again. Cassini tried this again later in the mission, except this time through a gap between Saturn and the D-ring. You'll notice this time that there wasn't a noticeable increase in collisions. At first, scientists thought that this was because the gaps between the rings were just really barren of particles. However, a second orbit through the gap revealed something different. This time, and every orbit after that, there was a noticeable increase in particle collisions. So, what happened the first time? Well, as it turns out, there were particle collisions, but none of the particles in that part of the gap were big enough for the RPWS instrument to detect. Cassini had another useful instrument on board, however, called the Cosmic Dust Analyzer, which could detect particles up to only 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter in size, and this instrument did detect an increase in particle collisions during the fly-through. After passing the ring during the second fly-through, you'll also notice these rising tones. Scientists are unsure what causes these exactly, but it is reminiscent of what Cassini detected earlier in the mission. The other, most interesting source of radio and plasma waves around Saturn is actually its moon, Enceladus. 2 weeks before Cassini plummeted into Saturn's atmosphere, it captured this as it passed by Enceladus. These observations show that Enceladus and Saturn have a plasma circuit between the two, much like Io and Jupiter, just perhaps to a lesser extent. Although the strength of this plasma circuit surprised scientists greatly. Cassini was also equipped with a magnetometer. This is what it detected by Enceladus. During the flyby of Enceladus, it was able to detect a bending of the magnetic field, indicative of a thin atmosphere, the source of which is likely to be the jets and cryovolcanism near the south pole of the tiny moon. This geological activity draws parallels again to Jupiter's moon Io. The magnetic fields of both planets interact strongly with the ejected atmosphere of the moons, creating a flux tube, or a current of charged plasma particles. There's just one more place that I want to have a look at around the Saturn system, and that is Titan. Cassini's first major objective upon reaching the Saturn system was to launch the Huygens probe towards Saturn's biggest and perhaps most interesting moon, Titan. Although Huygens didn't have its own RPWS instrument, it did have some other instruments. See if you can guess what this is a recording of as it descended towards Titan's surface. If you guessed radar echoes, well done. Huygens used this to determine its altitude above the surface. And what about this? This is perhaps the most impressive of any of the clips I've shown so far. Why? It doesn't sound that impressive until you realize that this is actual audio taken by a microphone on the Huygens probe as it descended through Titan's atmosphere. This is it leaving the vacuum of space and diving into another world. What you are hearing is exactly what you would have heard if you had been sitting on Huygens as it descended. This gives the clip such an awe and perspective like nothing I've heard before. Somehow, it's quite incredible for me to think about. We often have visuals of other planets, but I'm not really sure if there's anything quite like this out there. And there we have it, the sounds of Saturn and a couple of its moons. Think you'd like to learn more about maths and physics, but are worried that it might be a little boring or hard to get into? Well, it doesn't have to be. Something caught my eye this week on Brilliant, an interactive course that uses engaging puzzles to help you learn about physics. Each quiz focuses on solving puzzles that relate to a topic in the natural world. For instance, you can explore the physics of mirror reflections, laser tag, and how to make the perfect shot in a game of pool. With Brilliant, you'll unravel concepts bit by bit and discover deep truths in unexpected places. So give it a go. If you want to support Astrum and get unlimited access to all of Brilliant's interactive math, science, and computer science courses, you can use the link brilliant.org/Astrum to get 20% off.
Oh my god, I'm so tired. I've been up all night.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss out on space.
I'll see y'all next time.